Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Time. This week is part 2 on the door and window assembly for my Porsche 356. This week I'm going to try to, polish this quarter window glass, the wind wing glass. It's the original glass, got a little bit of staining on it. This stuff is Cerium Oxide, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. This was just from eBay, and it's just a light powder. They tell you to mix it 2 parts to 1 in warm water. So I have some warm water here, and it's basically just a very hard compound that can polish glass. I have this plastic down on my table because this is probably going to get slung everywhere on the polisher. You can kind of see how much water there is. It's not that much. It said to mix it so it's like a whipping cream. It's extremely hard to photograph the glass or show you the defects, but there are some scratches in it. Something that's barely felt with a fingernail right here. And there are some like little pits in it that are just small, small little pits. So the before condition's a little hard to show you guys. I did scrape the most of the glue off with a razor blade, but let's just give it a try. This is a small 2.5 or 3 inch rotary polish pad. I've used it on paint before, but let's use it on this with just a drill. We'll start on slow speed, see what happens. I don't think you're going to do any damage of the glass. It's so hard, and this is a foam pad, so you want to keep it moving around, but it's not going to kill the glass no matter what you do. Starting to feel a little bit of friction on it. That's good. Let me put some more down. Now right here I found a little divot in the glass. So you can definitely feel that with my fingernail. So I'll polish on that a little bit. See another one right there. The other thing I want to be really careful about is I don't want to polish the logo off. This is original glass, and the only way you know it's original is because of that logo. That's why the staining is a little strong right there, because I've kind of stayed away from that with the polishing tool. So let's get an idea how clean it is, how sensitive it is to the polish, and then maybe we can even try something more aggressive too. So much better. It really is clean. I can really just tell some of the powder seems to stay in the divots. So there are some defects, like one right here. That scratch here didn't really go away. It's still pretty much there. Okay, I got a little impatient, or curious I should say, about polishing glass. And the Cerium oxide powder operates very slowly. It's time consuming, it does clean, and it does do some very light scratches. But I had this extra window. This one is already destroyed because it's delaminated. It's got lots of bubbles that are visible even when the window frame's on it. So this is original tempered glass. So I tried some things on my angle grinder that I have for our house. These discs are 4-inch discs, and they are for polishing like marble, granite, concrete, glass. They are diamond abrasives, and they have this like waffle pattern. It works really well on marble, and it actually does work really well on glass too. So in the center here was a very big scratch, like a deep scratch. And I started with a 400. These are all various different grits. This is, I started with 400, which is the red pad, and went all the way up to 3000, which is on the grinder now. I actually have a 6000 pad too. But it does work. It absolutely works. I took out a really deep scratch. You need to get the scratch fully out with the 400, and then you just keep working your way up. And I was doing it pretty quickly, and ended up creating like a depression in the glass. So if you look very, very carefully, if you take it outside or something, there is a dip here where the scratch was. Because like I said, it was heavy. So you really have to be careful of how you operate the 400 disc, because it starts to put waves on the glass. So my overall sort of consensus on that is I don't actually know that it's worth it to use the discs, because it's so much work. This probably took me 30 minutes at least, and it would take even longer to get it back to its optical clarity like the rest of it was. Right now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's still pretty hazy. So I would have to spend more time with the 3000 and the Cerium Oxide to get this thing perfectly clear again. I was running it with my angle grinder, and I also have this Variac transformer. So I was running it at a very slow speed. So I'll demo it for you guys real quick, just so you're aware that these pads absolutely work. But I'm not going to go through that much trouble on the quarter window. It is a little bit more ergonomic to use this pad. So I found that this is the 3000. I found that the 3000 grit is probably about equivalent to the Cerium Oxide. But this is just a little bit more easy to manage with the ergonomics of the angle grinder. So I prefer this. And if you start with Cerium Oxide on this pad and just use that as a lubricant and a polish as well, I find that you can very quickly clean the glass. So that's kind of what I ended up doing to get this to the point of it's really ready to install. If you want to finish up with the foam pad with the Cerium Oxide only, that's a good idea too, just to get a little bit extra clarity, but I didn't notice any difference between the diamond pad and the foam pad in terms of just making it really clear. This is just water. It says super clean, but I just have water in here. So you want to kind of do it when it's wet. And the Variac is at 40%, so this is probably somewhere in the, 2000 RPM range. It's not much. And then this is a little bit more visible. You can kind of see how this looks when it's being spun around. The glass does not get hot at this RPM. One, because it has water on it, and two, because this is slow. And then just, you kind of wipe it off, and it's still got a hazy spot, but the hazy spot eventually will fade away until it's perfectly clear. It, like I said, just takes a lot of time. The logo is still in great shape. I didn't spend any real time with the polishing tools on the logo. So I wanted to preserve that. And given the amount of time it takes to take out scratches, I think you can buy this glass brand new with the right logo. So that's as far as I'm going to take it. There's one more thing that I tried to, on the deep scratch on this junk window, I tried to fill it with super glue. And I put super glue on top, it was proud of the surface, and then I came back with a grinder and flattened it out. It didn't seem to make a difference. I think that the scratch was not big enough to hold the super glue, so I think it just lifted it out of the crack. It's definitely messy too. Some of it got on the floor, but the floors are easy to clean now, which I like. And then some here on the toolbox just kind of splatters around, but no big deal.